Greetings to all. Welcome to the first installment of the Riders Wellness Connection Report. In this week's topic, I would like to share some preventative tips and strategies on how to encourage young children to stay calm. If you're the caretaker of young children, you may find this topic helpful. Contrary to popular belief, there is no perfect book that prepares us for parenting. If so, I've never heard of it. Many young children have difficulty managing their emotions. Okay, that's normal. Okay, they may engage in certain behaviors such as tantrums, oppositional behaviors, arguing, fighting. These are some common behaviors that may occur when kids experience powerful feelings that overwhelm them. Let's be honest, there are some kids who have learned to act out because it gets them what they want. Okay? This topic is not specifically designed for those kids, even though the information can also benefit them. I'm talking about kids who have trouble staying calm because they are highly sensitive biologically and emotionally. So the good news is, calming down instead of acting out is a teachable skill. Some children are more highly sensitive than their peers. They feel things more intensely and quickly and are slower to return to a calm emotional state. These intense feelings can also make a child more vulnerable to impulsive behaviors. So, as parents or caregivers, you can start by helping children understand how their emotions work. Most kids don't go from calm to manic in an instant. Much like an ocean wave, human emotions build over time. Young kids can learn to control by noticing and labeling their feelings early on before the wave gets unmanageable. Okay, so let's get started. Here are some preventative tips to help a child stay calm. Tip number 1, it's important to validate the child's feelings. Notice I said to validate the feelings, not necessarily agree with them, okay? And not at this moment in time to solve their problems, okay? Tip number 2, it's important to role model the behaviors that is difficult for the child. Example, if your child has an anger coping issue, you can sit down and speak with the child about how you handle your anger in a socially acceptable way. And it's important that you role model that behavior consistently with the child so that they're more inclined to comply. Tip number 3, setting clear expectations. Okay, as you guys are seeing that these tips are seem to be very familiar. Okay, however, the key to this is doing it consistently. So it's important to set clear expectations for young people. Okay, that is the blueprint of effective, healthy parenting. Okay, tip number 4, give the child options. We all remember when we were young, we felt powerless, okay? So it's important to allow the child to feel like they have some empowerment in their world. So giving the child options, you the parent, you the caregiver, you the adult, would give the child three options and the child is not expected to select one of those options that you've given them. Okay. Tip number 5, coping ahead. Okay. If we know the environment or the situations that triggers a child into engaging in some challenging, unhealthy behaviors, okay, it's important that we plan ahead, be very preventative. So coping ahead requires the parent to sit down with the child in advance if we know that an environment is going to trigger a very anxious moments for the child. Okay? Tip number 6 is problem solving. Earlier we talked about validating the child's feelings. Well, problem solving is also a part of one of the tips in helping a child to stay calm. So problem solving, as it sounds, you would sit down with the child and you would talk about what happened and what they can do in the future if a situation were to occur again. Okay? The last tip, but not the least tip, is providing quality time with the child. And this is very difficult for us as parents or caregivers to do, because the world doesn't stop as we work with our children. There's always various challenges that are coming about. However, it's important if your child is struggling with adjusting their emotions to provide quality time for that child. And this quality time is non-contingent. If the child is being good, we still want to section off some time for that child. If the child is having challenges that day, we still want to section off some quality time to spend working with that child. So, there you have it. 7 preventative tips that have strong evidence to support their effectiveness. The strategies are most effective if you follow what I consider a universal principle for success. What is it? Being consistent. That's one of the principles of being successful. Taking time to work with your child. These behaviors that these children have acquired are tied to their nervous system. As a result, they're constantly in a fight or flight mode. So it takes time, consistent time, in order to help them to process these new behaviors. And being patient. Ultimately, the winners are the most patient. So we need to be very patient when we do this and show the child that you're not upset with them, that it's, once again, you're helping them to learn a new skill. So there you have it. If you would like to take a deeper dive into this subject and the related behaviors that interfere with social functioning, see the link below. It will take you to the Rider Wellness Connection Report, which has links to relevant topics. Thank you for your time. Remember, control your thoughts. Don't allow your thoughts to control you. I wish you health and wealth. Thank you, and be safe.